Hi, welcome to Unscripted Soul. I'm Flo. I'm here with my co-host Rebecca. We're two spiritual coaches that believe the most profound conversations happen when we drop the script and speak from our soul. Every week we go live into becoming more of our true self, living as conscious creators, and spiritual awakening. Our hope is that our journey will help you navigate your journey. We're so happy that you're here. Let's dive in. Okay, so previous to recording, Rebecca was talking about something happening to her today on her Instagram, negative comments. And oh, when you were talking about this, my heart just dropped for you because I could just see that happening and like visualize, and it would just be so devastating. Um, And I think anybody would be devastated to experience this, see this on your any social. So do you want to talk a little bit about that, Rebecca?
It's been a day. Um, so I woke up this morning and I was on Instagram and I saw like I had some comments on a post, and so I looked at that and they were just really negative comments, like just awful. Like I won't even say some of the words because they were horrible. Just you're an idiot and you narcissist, you're stuck in your ego or whatever. And the videos were, my videos, they're all positive and I'm trying to help other people create positive mindset. So if anybody knows me, they know my videos are so uplifting. So normally I see those comments every now and then and I don't really care. And I looked closer at it and I discovered that it was somebody I knew. And it was my sister who I hadn't talked to in years. And I might have mentioned this before in a previous episode, maybe not. But I had a falling out with my family during like right around the time I had my spiritual awakening and really just changed my life. And with that came a lot of struggle. Like I had a lot of things that just kind of came up. So there was a lot of chaos. And during this time, I had to cut people out of my life. And I cut some of my sisters out of my life. So I don't really talk to them much. I don't talk to them at all, actually. So when I looked at this comment and found out who it was, I tried to shrug it off and I was like, oh, well, whatever, but it wasn't that easy. And it was affecting me. It was making me feel really sad. And so I went through a whole process today. And yeah, I mean, I kind of want to share that because I feel so much better now. And so that's my feedback is I feel really good. This morning I felt really sad.
Yeah, we would love to hear your process. And I really want to say that I'm so sorry. And that must have been so hard to see that on your social. And it's hard for anybody. So for you to go through what you went through, makes a lot of sense that you felt sad. So we would love to hear your process, and I'm so glad that you feel better and that you were able to work through this. So we would love to know what you did to help yourself.
Yeah. So the first thing that I did is I really had compassion with myself and curiosity. So I was like, okay, this hurts. A part of me wanted to say, let's just ignore this because that's what I would do before. It was easy. It was easy for me to detach, to dissociate, put on some YouTube video that was uplifting, do something else and not think about it. And that doesn't always work because what I've learned is that, especially with when it comes to emotions, they can get trapped in the body if we don't process them. So I kind of like to look at it as like we have the mind and we have the body. They do work together. They're not separate. So the first thing I did is I went with my emotions. I went to work on my emotions and I started feeling them in my body. So I started asking, like, where is this sadness? Where is this sadness at? And at first, I felt it like in my sacral chakra, and then I felt it in my heart. And as I started asking questions, I'm like, well, what does this mean? And even though I don't believe the things that she said were true, at least consciously, there was a part of me that felt unworthy, that felt like what she thought about me really mattered. So as I sat with that, I remembered something that I had learned and I find very valuable. So I'm going to take a little break from the story and I want to talk about our emotional guidance system for a minute. So the way I see our emotions is they are actually a guidance system for us. No emotion is a bad emotion. And so we have these three very strong, I guess, negative emotions that run our lives. We have sadness, we have fear, and we have anger. Okay. So sadness has a message for us. In fact, all of the emotions have a message, and the message is you're out of alignment with what is true. Okay. So sadness says you're experiencing some sort of lack. Sadness equals lack. So I had to look at that and I said, what am I lacking? Worthiness. I feel unworthy. And so the truth is, I am worthy. I came here worthy. I came into this world a worthy person. I don't need anything from anyone else to be worthy. Just me existing is enough for me to be worthy. So, see, there was something out of alignment. And so, as I went through this in my mind, like magic, the sadness started to melt away. And I was like, okay, okay. And it was still kind of there, but it was so much lighter. Um, and then just to touch on the other emotions real quick. So, fear, for example, what does fear mean? Fear tells us that we we want to control something, that we need control. And um, anger, anger is actually, I'm mixing these up. So anger is more we need to control. So when you feel like you have a loss of control and you can't control the situation, it causes you to feel angry, right? Fear is also similar to that. So there's also a sense of anger or a sense of fear that comes from when you don't have control over something. And so knowing that with control, first of all, the reason you're out of alignment is because we don't really have any control. So when you surrender up that whatever you're trying to control, then that usually helps with your anger or your fear. Um, so anyways, that's the little emotional thing that I went through. And so I looked at that and I was like, okay, I see that I'm feeling unworthy. And then I look at, you know, the truth of who I am, that I'm a worthy person. And that really did help. Throughout the day, I still kept hearing and seeing an image of, I'd hear my sister's voice saying the comment, and then I would hear, and then I would like see an image of like myself looking at the Instagram post kept popping up. So one of my favorite like NLP techniques to help change your state is a visualization technique where you see the image and you change it. So in my mind, I would see the image. I had it go black and white. I had the image become very small and just so small that I could just flick it away like it was a crumb. And I also did another exercise where I um, could see the image and I imagined there was a dial that I could turn it all the way up to a bright white and it just whited out that image. Now, at the same time, I'm doing an anchoring technique where I can create an elevated state. So I usually just can do it at will because I practice it so much. But sometimes if it's hard, you go back and think of a memory where you were just having so much fun, you felt so good. So I am like anchoring in this good feeling at the same time, I have the image of the unpleasant event that I'm whiting out, that I'm shrinking down, And after doing that for like 2 or 3 times, I felt like so good. And then I went about my day and I started noticing, I'm like, no, I'm not really thinking about it the same. And I even tried to think about it and I didn't have the same feelings. So I actually just
Oh,
like put it to the
that really
test
worked
and it
out.
worked.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that. That is so amazing. And it's something that I learned in my master's coaching program too, the NLP. Um, but I never really practiced it because I thought it was kind of silly. Because they did have it turn black and white, and then all of a sudden, poof, the other image would replace it. And I thought it was kind of silly. I practiced it with my practice clients and some other students, and it was silly to me. But the way you described it, how you made it smaller, 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 and then you could flick it away like a crumb, that actually could something that could stick. I mean, to me, it seems like that's something that could stick. Like it's gone, just flick it away and then replace it with the image that you actually want. Um, and make that really bright and vivid instead of black and white. So, yeah, I love that. I love that you did that. And you actually said you couldn't feel the same way anymore, too, which that's amazing. Um, so you were actually able to change that and flip that and turn that all around, coach yourself, which that's what a master coach does, right? They coach themselves.
Yeah.
So amazing. I love that. I think that is so great that you were able to turn that around. And Rebecca and I have a, Facebook group. It's called Spiritual Coaches Sisterhood. And I would love for you to share that technique and how you were able to overcome this in that group because so many of us would resonate with this. It's beautiful that you were able to do that. And yeah, something to share for sure because this would really be phenomenal for clients as well,
Yeah.
to change something around that was so drastic, change it around. The feeling, the thoughts, the feeling, everything goes together, thoughts and feelings.
Hmm. Yeah, it's something that I've practiced for a long time now, and I've gotten to be pretty good at it. Sometimes I forget about it. But there's a bunch of little techniques where you can take like a negative experience and then like have a positive experience overlap that and change that. And it works the same for like, let's say you wanted to get rid of a bad habit. You can turn that bad habit, which usually makes you feel good. That's why you do it. Like if you go eat a donut every day after lunch and you want to stop doing that, you can start thinking of things that really repulse you. And then you can, in like kind of a hypnotic state, when you kind of like relax your mind and like it's almost kind of like hypnotic language in a way. And then you can overlap that to where now the donut, your mind is thinking of like something really repulsive and disgusting or whatever. Um, so it's a great, like, there's lots of great things that you can do to like trick your mind. And what I've learned is like
Yeah,
the state that you're in, your state of being is so powerful, and you can't change your way of thinking if your feelings and emotions are like not congruent with that. So it's like all any
that's
kind
true.
of trick that I can use to trick myself to get myself in a more of a calm, relaxed state, then I can make rational decisions. Then I can really look at the situation for what it is instead of from a heightened nervous system or from like
Yeah.
a fear state.
Yeah, that's so important too. When you're just reacting and then your nervous system is dysregulated, you're reacting and then not thinking about how you're reacting, and fear comes in, and you just make all these judgments, and you may get angry or fearful, whatever it is, and you're not able to calm yourself down, then you're not rational. You're actually irrational at that time. You're not a rational person. And you're unstable leader, really. Anybody that is in that state is unstable. So,
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful. I love that you were able to do that. And kudos to you. I think that's amazing. I think it's so amazing. And wow, for that to happen to you also is just, I still have to go back to like how strong of a person you are to be able to handle that, because most of us would just crumble and just be upset for days, not want to show up. I mean, you still showed up today and we're still filming, like that's impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't always that way. Like, maybe 5, 6 years ago, if that would have happened, I would have gotten so angry and it would have just been devastating. But I'm so glad that I
Yeah.
learned the things that I've learned.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for listening. We're so happy that you spent this time with us. We really love and appreciate you.